Right, guys, just back from Sicily on our road trip, first of 2025. What a fantastic place! And it came on the radar because there was cheap flights introduced by Wizz Air from Sofia to Catania, which are very, very cheap. So that's the way we went. So first of all, the place, Sicily, is fantastic destination, and the distances aren't massive, so you can do a good road trip. You can definitely get around the island in a week. We chose to just stick to mainly the the north and western coast this time, rather than move on every day, which I prefer not to do. Which turned out fantastic, really. And the main highlights were Taormina, Mount Etna. So they got everything there. You've got beaches, you've got hot weather, you've got winter destination, which now it's not a beach weather, but it's very warm compared with other places at this time of year. It was generally each day there about 18 degrees, and when the sun was out, which was virtually every day, we had one day which was overcast. But right, the accommodation is very affordable if you're going to go independent travelling, like finding apartments, or you could stay in one apartment for the whole week and just radiate go from there. And the rail, apart from driving, the rail and buses are very good in Sicily for where where to places where you'd want to go. And from the airport, there's loads of buses there. I just checked it out on when it came back. We had a little bit of time, so I checked out the buses and coaches, and you can go anywhere in Sicily. Very reasonable prices, and also go to the mainland from Sicily, Rome, Bari. So you can go anywhere from Catania Airport. You have coaches to the whole of Italy. So that was good. And reasonable prices. The rail fares, I don't know how much they are, but it's well connected, especially the western coast and the northern coast. I don't know about the rest because we didn't go there. But you could get anywhere on the train. It just goes around the coast, basically. And that's where all the places where you probably head for tourist destinations. So yeah, and the driving, if you're a bit of a nervous driver, or you're not used to driving on the other side of the road, if you're from the UK, it can be a bit like intense, shall we say. But like, I'm used to driving like on the left, and also in small places. Like I lived in Gibraltar for a long time, which is like a lot of the places in the mountains are very narrow streets in Sicily. So I had experience with that as well. So, but if you're kind of a nervous type of driver, I'd probably you can stick to the main roads actually, and get to most places in Sicily now. And there's a lot of contrasts in Sicily as well. There's the mountainous northern region, which is a lot busier actually, and then we ended up on the last day, 2 days in the southwest, which is very sparsely populated and a lot quieter. I like the vibe there. It's a bit more bohemian kind of feel, and the beaches are like beautiful sandy beaches, and obviously there's nobody on the beaches now. But it was a very, very nice feel. Now, as for the big cities, largest cities, I quite like the Messina on the outskirts. It's like it looked quite enough action without being too busy. Palermo's very busy, obviously, and parking's impossible. I mean, if you lived there or spent any time there, you'd probably want to get a scooter or just get right in the centre. Now, you could do that if you were on public transport. That would be another good thing about the coaches and that. But obviously, then you'd want accommodation right in the centre, which is reasonable. Now, the food is good. Eating out, as in all the rest of Europe, is expensive now. It's not cheap. It's reasonable, but it's not cheap. For what you get, you're only getting the same stuff. Whether you get it from they have these bakeries, and you can get everything there, pizzas and all that kind of stuff, arancini, and whatever you want from the bakers, and there's always places to just sit down and have some food. You don't have to go to a restaurant and pay 4 times as much. But if that's what you're after, a lot of the restaurants were closed during the day, and bear in mind it's January at the moment, and they did open in the evening, but we don't really go out in the evening anyway. Probably would if we were in the centre of the place, but we stay outside the places because we've got the car, and we get places with parking. So really, our day finishes when it goes dark, and that's just the way we do it, and we, like I say, we're generally out of town, and we visit the towns during the day, and that's how we do the road trips. So the whole thing. Now, one thing to note as well is the people. They're very helpful, very cool. There's no protest about tourists go home or anything like that. Like Spain, they're not noisy people like Spanish people, and they're very understanding. They know exactly what you want. They're like, and what your level is in the shops and that. I can speak Spanish, so I could get most of it easily. A lot of this stuff is very, very similar to Spanish, and plus in the supermarket, it's in front of you. You don't have to know the language really to shop in supermarkets, which is why I like going in them when we're abroad, and that's the cheapest way to go, and you can get everything there. Really, that you can get in. They had a good selection of fish, and the meat it was pretty good. I got some steaks, like minute steaks, I think they're called. They're like very thin steaks, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. They used to have them in Gibraltar, like very thin steak, and fantastic for not too heavy. You can have them for any time of the day. A couple of eggs or the steak. Beautiful, absolutely. And so I had them the last 2 days, fantastic. And I had, for the first 3 days, I overdosed on fish, because I haven't had swordfish for a long time. And I like swordfish. And I bought some. You can get these trays of mixed octopus and squid and all that, and I did them with the swordfish. So the apartment stunk of fish when we left. So yeah, that's the way it is. But that was all from supermarkets, and and they're reasonable. They're reasonable. They're not. It's not nowhere's they're cheap anymore for food in Europe. I don't think, but it's reasonable, and the fish was reasonable prices. You can get these thin cuts of the pez espada. It's called pez espada. It's slightly different from the Spanish, but anyway. So that's the way we go, or I go anyway. I buy food and eat it, or buy takeaway stuff and eat it in the square or whatever. And very rare we go to restaurants, and we went in a couple of sit down cafes, and they weren't cheap, and it's never. It's only basic food. It's nothing that you can't get takeaway or from a supermarket. Sometimes it's better from supermarkets. So we just basically carry a bag full of food on the first day, and just kept adding to it. And all you need is a bit of bread, and you've got everything, cheese and stuff like that. But so the roads are good as well in Sicily. Some of them are quite windy, and they're kind of a little bit tight and that. But as long as you take your time and that, and it's well signposted, Sicily. Very well signposted. I will say that. And the main roads, the big roads, they're brilliant. The motorways and they're not like packed. All the traffic moved really, even in Palermo, which was a bit like sketchy, a bit like free for all. But like it was good because it was one way. Most of the streets are one way, so it's a one way. Everywhere's a one way street, so you can like circle around, and that's the way we did it. We just got to the centre, and then just circled our way out through all the one way streets, round the block, round the block, round the block, bigger and bigger, and that's how we saw it. We couldn't park anywhere, but where we wanted to be anyway, in the centre, it was impossible. But like the other places where we went, there was parking and that, and then finally where we were, there was nobody there. So Marzomina, it was called Marzomeme. It was fantastic, beautiful, wild place, and that was the best apartment as well. And we had to drive in, on a great big patio, fantastic, and cheap. It was working out per person, and there was two of us, but we were getting big apartments because we each like our own space, our own room, and it was 2 bedrooms. Every apartment where we went, and it was working out €25 per person, average. One place was a bit more expensive near Chilafu, and one place was very, very, very cheap near Catania, a place called Mascali, and it was a perfectly good apartment. So that's the main things, that it's very affordable, and you want your tourist stuff, it's all there. You want your beach holiday, you've got it. You want your mountains, if you like volcanoes, you don't get better than Mount Etna. And so you've got everything there. If you like cities, old history, lots of history there. If you like the Italian vibe, and the people there are fantastic. They really are very cool, very calm, and helpful, very helpful. All the shops we went in, very helpful. Not even in the tourist shops, they're not like on top of you or anything like that. No one's ever on top of you, hassling you and like that. Very calm people, and like they're very comfortable. You can tell in there environments, which is great. It's great for them. And so that's Sicily, and well, from to get in their point of view, I suppose it's a little bit more difficult from the UK, because it's like I don't know what cheap flights from there are, but we only paid, I think it was €15 each way from Sofia, and it was only an hour and a half. So you barely get, you take off and then next minute you're landing, so. And Catania Airport's easy to get into, out of, and so is Sofia. It's not like all barricaded like Manchester or anything like that. And we did the park and fly in Sofia, and that was reasonable for a week. It's about £5 a day, something like that. So all in all, it adds up. Everything adds up, and the hire car, we had to pay this premium. I'll go through that another time with the insurance, but it worked out well, because I did scratch the car. Hands up, it was me. But we paid for it, so it was like it may have been karma for the hire car people, because it's like it's a bit of an insurance trap. If you want fully comp, anyway, if you want to take your chances, do it. But they're like, don't scratch the car. But like, it's highly likely that you will get a bump and a scratch in Sicily, because it's mega, like, it's tricky driving, But anyway, so all in all, it was a fantastic holiday. And would I go again? Absolutely. I'll probably go, and I might consider going on the coaches, public transport, and you probably see a bit more. I had a little bit of a problem with my heel, which is a different story altogether. But like, if that was okay, I would go on the buses and stay in the centres of these, like Taormina. You can get right in the centre for the same money, but you're right there. There's no parking problems or anything like that. So I would actually consider that, because the communications are pretty good by the look of it, and you could do a few centres, and you could see more then and of the city centres, because even if you do find parking, it's expensive, and because they know that you're there for a short time, so it can be expensive to parking, of €4 an hour. So if you take that off, off the travelling, and then you get a place in the centre, which might be €10 extra, well, you're saving that in the parking. So you got to weigh it up. But I would definitely consider going without driving, because it's that compact when you get to these towns. And I would definitely go and have a better look at Taormina and probably Messina, and then you could make your way round on the buses, but spend a couple of nights in each place, travel light, which we did anyway because of the plane, because they hike your stuff up on the Wizz Air and Ryanair, as everybody knows. They just hike it up through baggage now and all sorts of other stuff, priority boarding, which doesn't really exist in a lot of places. They say it's priority boarding, but like, you go down the stairs and you're on the same bus that goes to the plane. If you're on the shuttle bus that goes to the plane on the tarmac, There's no priority boarding. The only priority boarding you're doing is onto the bus. And you'll be last off because you're first on. So it doesn't really exist. It doesn't. Anyway, all you do is go to the front of the queue and get on the bus earlier than anyone else. That's it. You don't get on the plane earlier. But anyway, and why you would want to sit on the plane for longer. Anyway, so priority, yeah. Anyway, so Sicily, fantastic, on the radar. Now I'll go through I'll make another video about, could you go an expat there? Could you live there? And I'll make this too long if I went through that now. Okay, so that's an introduction to Sicily. Fantastic place. Okay, cheers.